In America, everyone counts, and the 2020 census is how that great promise is kept. Respond today online, by phone, or by mail, and help inform hundreds of billions in funding for education, health programs, and more. Shape your future. Start at 2020census.gov. So remember we told you the story of how the judges ruled in Ohio to expand drop boxes? Well, let me tell you how that actually happened. It's because a group of Ohio black workers partnered with the A. Philip Randolph Institute to actually demand this. But here's what's very interesting, okay? It's very interesting. They're also suing them, calling on the Secretary of State to make changes to ensure a safe and healthy election. But here's also what's interesting. ProPublica did a story, all right, that detailed this lawsuit. So here's what they did. The Secretary of State, he then calls Von Spakovsky. Y'all might say, who's this Von Spakovsky guy? Well, he's a guy who the Republicans use all across the country, Greg, to allege voter fraud. Von Spakovsky works for the Heritage Foundation. Von Spakovsky has been holding off-the-record discussions only with Republican secretaries of state. Now, what the documents realize, so what happened was, so the A. Philip Randolph Institute sends a letter to the Secretary of State. The Secretary of State doesn't respond to the A. Philip Randolph. He calls Von Spakovsky. I blasted the Heritage Foundation for this guy, and I know a sister, she runs it, Kay Cole James. But the reality is this here. They are using, and this guy Von Spakovsky also happened to be on that commission, that Donald Trump commission, that voter fraud commission. This guy has been, he is not an expert. He's not. But Republicans see him as one of the leading voices because his whole messaging is how do you craft policy to specifically keep folks from voting. And in fact, I believe he was actually caught on record saying he did not believe everybody should even have the right to vote.
Well, of course. I mean, again, a fundamental misunderstanding. We have a fundamental misunderstanding of where we live. This country is not built on something as abstract as truth or morality or human rights. This is a settler state, and power comes. And in fact, it was A. Philip Randolph himself that says, you know, our lives will be determined by what we can take from the table and how long we can hold on to it. He gave a definition of power. So when the white nationalist assistant Secretary of State, Grant Schaffer, called the white nationalist Von Spakovsky, and yeah, with all due respect to the sister that runs the Heritage Foundation, it is a white nationalist think tank. You know, this is where the diversity argument falls apart. Just because you have a few Negroes sprinkled around doesn't mean that if anything, it's like a disguise. But at any rate, he talked to him after the A. Philip Randolph Institute reached out. And then Frank LaRose, who is the white nationalist Secretary of State in Ohio, issued that rule, only one box per district, 88 districts in Ohio, including Cleveland has got 1 million people in it and 1,200 square miles. But that's not even it. The people are saying it doesn't matter who the judge is, well, my vote doesn't count. It was an elected judge at the Franklin County Court of Appeals who graduated from the same law school I did, Ohio State, Judge Richard Pryor, who says, no, you're not, you can't tell these people in the counties how many boxes they can put out. Now, of course, these white nationalists have appealed. It's going to the 10th District Court of Appeals in Franklin County. There's a black woman on that court, right, as well. And those are elected judges, those 7 judges. They're going to hear the appeal. And if the white nationalist party doesn't like that, they're going to appeal to the Ohio Supreme Court. There another round of elected judges, including one black woman on that court who actually has a PhD as well as a JD. The point is elections matter. Remember the election of 2004 that the white nationalist party stole, not 2000, but 2004. Who was the Secretary of State in Ohio? A Negro named Kenneth J. Blackwell, a Negro in support of the white nationalist party. Secretaries of State matter. Van Spakovsky has known it. He is an absolute expert on election stealing. And that's all the White Nationalist Party is interested in, whether it be ALEC bringing together the Secretaries of State or the Heritage Foundation bringing together the Secretaries of State. Ladies and gentlemen, this is about power. So everybody can stop talking about, oh, we don't know, we're shocked. The ACLU lawyer, I'm shocked, we're shocked. Stop being shocked and get smart. Grab some power and hold on to it. Listen to A. Philip Randolph.
All right, folks, back to our Roland unfiltered video in just 1 minute. As our community comes together to support the fight against racial injustice, I want to take a second to talk about one thing we can do to ensure our voices are heard. Not tomorrow, but now. Have your voices heard in terms of what kind of future we want by taking the 2020 census today at 2020census.gov? Now, folks, let me help you out. The census is a count of everyone living in the country. It happens once every 10 years. It is mandated by the U.S. Constitution. The thing that's important is that the census informs funding, billions of dollars, how they are spent in our communities every single year. I grew up in Clinton Park in Houston, Texas, and we wanted new parks and roads and a senior citizen center. Well, the census helps inform all of that and where funding goes. It also determines how many seats your state will get in the U.S. House of Representatives. Young black men and young children of color are historically undercounted, which means a potential loss of funding for services that helps our community. Folks, we have the power to change that. We have the power to help determine where hundreds of billions in federal funding go each year for the next 10 years. Funding that can impact our community, our neighborhoods, and our families and friends. Folks, responses are 100% confidential and can't be shared with your landlord, law enforcement, or any government agency. So please, take the 2020 census today. Shape your future. Start at 2020census.gov.